Indonesia, Barack Obama and his mother all have in common. Hitler spread Nazism widely and probably his seed as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. How Islam was definitely looked at by Hitler very closely. There were during World War II, there were Islamic SS groups, battalions, whatever. And, so Hitler looked at the Islamic world and he saw that it was much better than the Christian world because he thought Christianity was weak, but Islam was strong. And I guess it's control. So Islam and Nazi Germany's war. So let's take a look at this. This is going to lead to some other things. Indonesia, where supposedly Hitler had a guest on. I had a guest that I will have on, hopefully, at one of his show, and he talked about how he had been to Nazi Germany, and during I guess the time where he was writing his doctorate or something, and he studied every place where Hitler had been in his last days, and he found out that Hitler did not die in the bunker. Even the Russians, when they came in, they said that, well, this guy that supposedly was Hitler, the dental records don't match, and they left it at that. So you can decide what you want from that, but obviously, if the dental records don't match, it wasn't him, right? So there's been a lot of stories of how Hitler, through rat lines, submarines, and so forth, went to Argentina. There's pictures of him in an Argentinian hotel in Buenos Aires. The Perones were heavy supporters of the Nazis. They were in the process of getting a nuclear weapon, but when the Perones passed on, or I guess the Perón, who was in charge, who was the president at the time, when he passed on, that those hopes faded and they couldn't get it together. So Hitler, wandered around lots of different places, and according to the guy that was a guest on the show, he said that Hitler died in Indonesia in 1970. Wow, that's an interesting turn of events. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So yeah, we have to dig through history because they've definitely been hiding history and manipulating history. Of course, the victors decide history, and of course the Nazis, I believe, infiltrated everywhere. Right, they infiltrated our CIA, our space program, and lots of other places. So, and they went to almost every government position throughout Europe. They were heads of NATO. It's like this is so obvious. Islam and Nazi Germany war during World War II. So here's Hitler with Palestinian leader Hajj Amin al-Husseini in Berlin in 1941. All right. So these groups are, I guess Hitler was supporting groups that were trying to break away. So he's trying to, curry favor. And he did vigorous propaganda, it says, to curry the favor of Muslims in the Middle East, the Balkans, Crimea, and the Caucasus. So the Caucasus is Iran, right? And so there's obviously, as we're seeing now, and I've been saying this in my shows, dropping these little hints, that the Iranian regime is a Nazi regime, right? As it stands right now, as of now. So how long that lasts remains to be seen, but I don't think much longer. So the Axis and Allied scramble to recruit Muslims was driven by sheer numbers. Approximately 150 million Muslims lived under British and French colonial rule between North Africa and Southeast Asia. the Soviet Union was home to 20 million Muslims. So Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime courted Muslims assiduously after belatedly realizing that Islam was a geopolitical force strategically important to Germany's plans of conquest, world conquest, and they pretty much have, to a great extent, done that, because we're in the Fourth Reich as we're, right now. Of course, America is taking down the Fourth Reich, but it is very entrenched everywhere. Hitler was fascinated with Islam and thought it was a strong and practical faith, in contrast to his jaundiced view of Christianity as an artificial and weak religion. German propagandists amplified the theme that Germans and Muslims faced common foes in Britain, France, the Soviet Union, and Jews. So, Islam and Nazi Germany's war. So it was written about, as you see here. Here's brigades that were put together, several brigades, and the German Kaiser Wilhelm II meets the Ottoman Sultan in Constantinople in 1917. During World War I, when Germany was aligned with the Ottoman Empire, German embassies and consulates circulated pan-Islamic propaganda. These efforts failed until Oppenheimer's memorandum. German officials had shown remarkably little interest in the Middle East or Islam because Hitler respected the imperial ambitions of Britain and Italy in that region. But with Italy's military failures in North Africa and the Balkans, Germany's outlook drastically changed. So what happened is Hitler came in and made buds with the Islamists, right? So when I was working with the CIA in Yemen, I've talked about how I saw swastikas on walls in Yemen, right? So the influence, and of course, Yemen is part of Iran. Every group that is part of Iran is basically a Nazi group, right? Now the people of Yemen are not fond of their controllers in Yemen. And same with the people of Iran. They're not fond of, the people that are controlling them. I don't know. Germans, I think they had a high opinion of Hitler. But why? Because he basically brought them out of oppression, broke them free from the European control that they were under. So anyway, there's an Indonesian, and there's so many different possible daddies of Obama. So I'm just going to throw another one out there that I heard today. Sukarno. Sukarno was the president of Indonesia. And so supposedly, you have to be born. You have to have a U.S. citizen, at least one. And you have to be born physically in America. So Obama was not born in America. He was born in Indonesia. And it looks like Sukarno, from my initial investigations now, it was Obama's daddy. One of many, of course, but his real daddy, his biological daddy, right? So Sukarno was a brutal dictator. He was buds with Hitler, and he believed, although they say that he didn't agree with Hitler, he did, and there's lots of evidence out there that he did. All right, so let me show you some pictures. There's pictures of Sukarno shaking hands with Hitler, and so forth, and that's one of the things that I guess we're going to start to, slowly but surely and methodically, we're going to learn about all this. So here's Sukarno, Indonesian president, brutal dictator. He started the revolution against I think it was the Dutch that owned the Indonesian islands, or were controlling them, not owned them. And Sukarno, with Hitler's backing or whatever, because Hitler was fond of, those people that were trying to get rid of their controllers that were European. He came in and basically, he idolized Hitler. So that's one of the things that, we're going to see. So here we have Obama's mama was, a lot of people have said, been on my shows that have talked about how Obama's mama was either a daughter or a granddaughter of Obama and Eva Braun, right? So, wow. So, and that would tie in with, Sukarno in Indonesia, and then Hitler basically going back to Indonesia and residing there until he passed away. So the connections are starting to wow, it's like, is this real? So we're doing our research, and of course all of you can do your research on this as well. So here's all you have to put in is Sukarno and Hitler, and you're going to see these guys are buds. Here they are shaking hands, and let's look at that smile. Everybody's smiling. Oh, cool, we're hanging out with Hitler. All right. So, and I don't know what the Indonesian script is here, but untold history. So there's lots of different things here. Does this guy kind of look like Obama? Could be Obama's daddy, right? So do you know what that means? Nazi symbols in Indonesia's election. So just recently, one of the candidates, I guess swastikas are growing up everywhere. Mein Kampf. So they, in Indonesia, Muslim, very strong Muslim area, they are obviously very fond of Hitler, Mein Kampf, and that kind of mentality. So it's just opening up that window so that we can go down another rabbit hole. Is it a rabbit hole that's going to be fruitful? I think it is. So very, very interesting connections there. So hopefully I'll have this guest on and we'll go deeper down that rabbit hole and reveal some more. So, wow. So yeah, I just learned about that, and then I'll have other guests that have kind of tied that in. So in other areas, so connecting the dots, the puzzle pieces, and getting a fuller picture of this time frame. So we're in the Fourth Reich, right? So we're basically exposing this and breaking free from this Fourth Reich control. So Iran, Nazi Iran, has an internet blackout and has exceeded 700 hours. So the Democrats are always saying that conservatives are Nazis. We know who the real Nazis are, don't we? Yeah. So here we go.
Officials are sounding the alarm about the internet blackout across Iran that has now reached more than 700 hours. They say it's affecting the world's ability to understand the extent and impact of U.S. and Israeli strikes, and it's also hurting Iranian civilians and their ability to organize internally. I spoke with a senior Israeli intelligence official today about this issue, who said in part, quote, "This is a blackout on truth. The regime is hiding reality from its own people. They don't want the Iranian people to see how badly they're getting hit." The official goes on to say, cutting the internet stops people from communicating, from sharing what's really happening, and from organizing. This is significant because we understand that
So we all know that the Nazis here in America, and Trump has said that the Democrat Party are terrorists. I completely agree with him. They are the enemy within. So this enemy within, basically during the COVID lockdowns, basically took away a lot of our ability to pass information on the internet, saying that we were a threat and so forth, and we were. And they did active. FBI was active within X and YouTube and so forth, and going after the FBI and the Biden administration as well. Were active in taking down people that were spreading truth, just like it's happening in this Nazi regime right now in Iran. So I've said that there is a very great similarity between the Nazis of Germany and the Democrat Party, and it is absolute.
Is being jammed inside of Iran. And so people who previously were able to work around this internet blackout are not able to do so. The Iranian regime has also arrested hundreds of people who are using Starlink terminals. But the official ended by saying something that I think is very important. They said, when this blackout is lifted, the full extent of the damage to the regime will become clear. Guys?
Yeah, that'll be great. Thanks so much, Trey.
Thanks, Trey.
We really only.
All right. So, remember, I guess it was, the last couple years or so, it was always a problem to do shows. Our shows would get blocked, they'd get taken down, the blackouts. There's still a little bit of that going on, but not as much as it used to be. So truth is definitely starting to, get some traction and starting to come out now with President Trump. Now, I remember when President Trump first came in, I was like, well, finally, I'm going to be able to reveal without being hacked. The IRS coming after me. I was followed by CIA types. I could see them. I know how I used to follow people. So I know how it is. And they were following me, harassing me, and so forth. And when I saw President Trump come down the escalator, says, I'm going to be free to reveal soon, right? So, and I've been revealing either here on YouTube or in Rumble when I was shut down on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and X and all these other places. So Facebook, but I was able to, at least in Rumble. I don't know why. Rumble is from Canada. Canada is Nazi land as well. So I don't know how they're getting away with it, why they didn't ever get shut down. But for whatever reason, it has been amazing that we've been able to continue with disclosing and taking down and exposing this Nazi deep state, right? So we'll continue to do that. Of course, there's going to be resistance. They'll continue to resist us. They'll continue to disinfo us and so forth. But we'll keep the information coming. Now, No Kings. Now, how many of you saw No Kings rallies? How big were they? So I've talked to several people, and they said that No Kings rallies were a nothing burger. But when I look on the Nazi deep state media, I see that they say it was huge. Thousands marched from Central Park to Times Square. No Kings, tens of thousands of protesters in Manhattan. And they say that protesters, No Kings protests against Trump draw huge crowds across U.S. I saw where it was like in every state, all 50 states. Huge protest. I have not seen anything on the news about that. Real good quality video and pictures, maybe just because I think it's all bullshit anyway. But Facebook showed a version for Indianapolis. So I saw a few idiots walking to a Pissette Miniature No Kings rally a few days ago. Big joke. Okay, so there we go. No Kings was in London protesting Kings. Lots of laughs. No kidding. Michael, check this dick about Obama and his dad. I don't know what that means. They say no kings as God is king. That's right. The Kenyan was not eligible to be a U.S. president. Absolutely. That's been exposed for a long time. But what have been the results of it? Like nothing. Let's see. Paper clips went in the USA, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here in Indianapolis, we're just protesting high utility rates, right? And the union labor shut down at 8 p.m. Nicole Whiting. Okay. So, and I've talked to people and they said it was nothing. There was supposed to be a protest in my city. I went down there just to see what it was. And it was like just a few people there and just a few signs, and that was it. So, of course, they're going to try and make this something. Maybe it was in one or two areas, but not nothing burger to a great extent. Now, we know that they've been talking about how ICE is, going to the airports and helping TSA and all that kind of stuff. Today, supposedly, TSA agents were supposed to get paid. So, but, a lot of them walked away. So, I don't know. It's going to take time to replace them, I guess. But you would think that the airports would be a zoo from all of the stuff we've been seeing in the news, right? Well, a lot of people I've been talking to, they're going to airports. I mean, multiple airports in Kentucky and Dallas and all kind of crazy places. And there's no line. All right. So I think it's a lot of it's BS, guys. There's, we've talked about this movie thing. They're portraying a movie. Some of this, we have to do this until we expose. So it is probably a lot of people aren't, going out in a lot of these airports because they don't want to get picked up by ICE. Right. So no one wants to travel now that are illegal immigrants. So I don't know, or maybe criminals, who knows? So we're seeing a bifurcation in what's being reported and what reality is. All right. So you have to be very, like I've been saying for quite some time, you have to be very observant and not get caught up into, especially mainstream media's, conversations and so forth. I see so many people now that I used to respect and I used to listen to, former colonels and generals and all kind of crazy stuff, and influencers that are complete morons. All right? It's like, what happened to you? Did somebody pay you, or did you just swallow some stupid pills? Wow. And these people were like totally pro-Trump back when Trump wasn't in office, and now that he's in office, he can do no right. It's everything that he does is wrong and stupid, and it's like, wow, what the heck happened? So in the meantime, war alert from Vladimir Putin, who has basically told the European Union, who is no longer supported by the United States, which is pretty much they're over. All right. Putin has said, Europe wants to and starts. We are ready right now. So that's what Vlad said. So translation is that if you're once their ass is kicked, go ahead and mess with us. All right. FAFO with Putin. So we are ready to fight the entire Europe. That's what Putin does. Wow. All right. And I think they're pretty much a pushover at this point, because they've shipped all of their top people and all of the little bit of weapon systems that they had in their arsenals, mothballs and so forth, and shipped it into Ukraine, and it's all gone. It's all gone. They don't really have anything left. So if Texas falls, America falls. Representative Chip Roy sounds the alarm on Sharia and civilizational jihad. So he's saying there is a war being waged against Western civilization, against the United States by the Fourth Reich, right, of America, and against the state of Texas. Right now, in real time, it has been going on for decades, all right? Before I even left the SEAL teams, we were seeing that Hamas and other radical Islamists were moving into Central and South America, and going into key positions within political realms, buying their way in, of course. And we were seeing that decades ago. Now, when Obama, the Nazi Obama administration, basically opened the borders up, and now, of course, the Nazi Democrat Party wants to open the border back up, and so they're tightening the strings and saying we're not going to fund ICE and we're not going to fund TSA or anybody else, and unless we get that border back open, because we really need people to come across that border and the Muslim hordes and put us in office. All right, so going back to the 1991 Muslim Brotherhood. Now, remember, Muslim Brotherhood. Now, this was something this particular person that was telling me today that I hope to have on my show. He was telling me the Muslim Brotherhood was founded by the Nazis as well, right? So the Muslim Brotherhood, remember when they took over Egypt, there was a huge demonstration, and it was backed by Obama and Hillary Clinton, all right? And the Muslim Brotherhood got in. They were in for about a year, and the people of Egypt said, "You're out." And they demonstrated until they got them out. But the Muslim Brotherhood, another Nazi organization, guys, with roots all the way back to Hitler. All right, the process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process. Their goal is to make Islam part of the homeland, rooted in the minds of the people, with firmly established organizations, all to carry out the grand mission of civilizational jihad, all right, the Fourth Reich. This isn't just theory. There are hundreds of organizations operating across America, many right here in Texas, actively working to drive the Islamification of our country in direct conflict with their Constitution, our laws, and the Declaration of Independence. All right. So Chip Roy, I really liked him. I hope that he becomes the new Attorney General, and we'll see. We'll see how things are moving. So there's, I guess, Texas has one of the highest concentrations, and more mosques are being built in Texas than anywhere else in America right now. So it's not looking good. So Chip Roy, hope he gets in office and starts to have an impact on pushing back on that. All right, Trump confirms rumors that massive military complex is being built beneath the new White House ballroom. Now, I've talked about this. I've had people that have, I've shown clips of people that have, discussed this. Because think about it. So they're building this, party wing, right, ballroom, and all you need to do is basically level the ground, pour the concrete, and start to build, right? But we've seen that there's all these, it's taking a long time, and there's all these deep holes like under this ballroom. So Trump admitted today on, I think it was an Air Force One flying, and he showed pictures of the new ballroom. He said the ballroom's going to be basically, bulletproof glass and blast proof and all kind of crazy stuff. And it will be sitting, it will cap basically the underground bunker system. So he said that the military is in the process of building a massive complex. And I've seen people that have come on and talked about how the contractors that are involved are contractors that normally build out these massive underground facilities for the military, right? So now the military, he says, is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. So somebody filed a lawsuit. I guess they wanted, to know Freedom of Information Act or something. I don't know. And so everyone finds out now. So I've been saying it for a long time, for months, and now President Trump comes out and has to admit it, right? But it's very obvious for anyone that has eyes to see that that's what's going on there. All right, Trump cites progress in dealing with more reasonable regime while mulling ground operation to seize uranium. So now he's out, just like he said. There's a military complex, massive military complex being built under the ballroom of the White House. And now he's coming out and said, yeah, we're mulling ground operations to seize uranium. So what I think is that we will see, and they will happen when they happen, right? Some of us could probably predict when that will be, but why do you think President Trump is taking his time? He's taking his time because every day that goes by and that what used to be cheap oil that used to come from Iran, because all the people of the world were like, Iran, they have a nuclear program, so they had sanctions on them. So to get their oil out, they were shipping it to Europe for like $5 a barrel. All right. How much is it now? If it's going to Europe, it's like 108. Ooh. So the people are going to get a little anxious for having to pay so much, right? Could be a collapse of those Nazi regimes that are running Europe. Could it be? Could it be? All right. I think so. We've already seen a collapse of a Nazi regime in Venezuela, and soon we will see one in Cuba. Right? So all of these Nazi regimes of the deep state, Sieg Heil, Fourth Reich bullshit. We thought we won the war, but no, we didn't. All right. They let us think we won the war, and then they started infiltrating. So that's such, and they basically have taken over everything. Even the Bush family is a Scherf family, and they're a Nazi family, right? They changed their name to Bush. So we had a Nazi that was running the CIA and was running as the vice president for 2 terms, and then he was like the president for a term. So we had Nazis, and of course we still have, and Obama was a Nazi, right? So all these Nazis have been running the show, guys, until President Trump came in and kicked their asses out, right? So this is a great thing, but most people, the few people that showed up for those No Kings rally, it's like they don't get it. You don't get it, and of course they're being influenced by the Nazi mainstream media. So the roots are dug in a lot of different places, and a lot of the stuff is going to be taken out. So uranium will be one of the things that the military goes in and gets a hold of and make sure it's controlled, and that either it comes to the United States or wherever it goes. Russia was like, we'll take it, and we're like, no, we'll handle this. So, and Israel's like, we'll take it, and it's like, no, you guys shouldn't even have any, bombs as it is. You guys are like sketch, so you're not going to get it. We're just using you right now to, take out more of these Nazis around the world. But once that's done, you guys go bye-bye. All right. So I think, Netanyahu's already gone bye-bye. And so we'll see. Now, is he being held in prison, or did he get blowed up, and is he wounded, or is he bye-bye, or who knows? But he's not around. He is absolutely not around. So lightning strikes. That's what I see. Why would we go in and hold ground? Because that makes you vulnerable, and you can just go in and hit certain areas. There's some areas where they're launching missiles that we probably can't get, bombs into. You'd have to blow up an entire mountain to get down to some of these sites. Yeah, they can come in with missiles into them, but dropping the bombs is much more effective. So we can't get to some of these areas, guys. So they're going to put troops, and they won't put troops in there until they're at the point, and that's the beauty of special forces, because we have great assets. And when we plan to go in to do a mission, we plan that everybody comes back, right? Now, it doesn't unfortunately always happen that way, but more times than not, it does. So lightning strikes, hit them, get what we need, destroy what we need, and then get the hell back out. Now, the Marines are perfectly suited for that. Of course, they're very much like, Special Forces, Delta, SEAL Team 6, Green Berets, regular SEALs, 82nd Airborne. Who we're missing? We're missing Rangers. Why aren't Rangers coming? Maybe they're coming. I don't know, but we'll be very, very effective at this. This is something that U.S. military is exceptionally well trained in. We saw it already down in Venezuela, and we'll see similar activities throughout Iraq coming up. Now, again, tick tock, the Europe is dying. Europe, the British and their little city state, the City of London, which has been fomenting all this and making lots of money and paying for all this with their, multi-billionaire, peeps and corporations and all that kind of stuff, massively getting lots of money from that. They're getting squeezed. Lloyd's of London, they're not funding, or they're not getting paid anymore for the insurance. Now, President Trump said today that, today there were 10 oil ships that Iran let go through. Who else let them go through? United States, right? So he said tomorrow they're going to give me a gift because we're negotiating. Negotiations seems to be going well, and they're going to let 20 ships go through. And of course, we are as well. All right. So we're going to have, and he said, he was asked a question. Right. Russia has a oil tanker that's off the coast of Cuba. Are you going to let them go in? And he's like, if someone wants to help Cuba, that's fine. Cuba, they probably need oil. We don't want the people to suffer too much. So, but we're going to see that that administration that's been running Cuba and doing very evil things like Iran, they're going to go away. All right. So that's what's going on, guys. The Nazis are losing across the board. They're not too happy about that, but I don't know. You guys happy about that? I'm pretty happy about it. My whole career, there's like this hidden force that's doing some really stupid stuff that keeps these wars going. And now we know, all right? Now, Iran's surprisingly formidable missile systems came from North Korea, right? So, of course, China, they're supposedly had these ship killer missiles. We haven't lost any ships. All right? And we've been sending aircraft carriers in to kick some ass for decades, and at least for the last several years. And there's always been this threat of these China, missiles that were going to come in and sink our battleships, our aircraft carriers, and it hasn't happened. So, American superiority is incredible. Now, the Raptor 22, which is the Air Force's, it is the most advanced stealth fighter in the world, is now multiple aircraft, I think from bases in England, if I'm not mistaken, are now doing strikes in Iran. You have the different gunships that are still active. The A-10 Warthog, that's amazing. It's like just flying and just zapping all kind of stuff right now. So B-52 bombers, B-2 bombers, B-1 bombers. I haven't seen any of them yet, but I hear they're probably out there. I don't know. if it's got a B, it's probably out there bombing, right? A B in front of it. So we got a lot of them. We got a lot of them, and they're like kicking butt. And then I see, these knuckleheads that come on and talk about, how we're losing. Are you kidding me? And these guys are like professors, and they're supposedly experts and former colonels in the military. And so I'm like, what planet are you people from? It's like you're either part of the deep state or you're just a complete buffoon. So we're going to continue to see stupid out there, unfortunately. And during the COVID lie, there were a lot of people that were dying from lung issues. So I've had guests on that have talked about how these lung issues were basically the white plague, which is tuberculosis. And tuberculosis can be cured if you reach it soon enough. It used to be a real problem, back in the 1800s and so forth. A lot of people died from it, but, not a lot of people died from it until COVID came, and they called it COVID. But I think a lot of people died because they stopped testing for it. Yeah. So everything was COVID. We know how that was. Got a motorcycle accident, you die from it, test you for COVID, and die from COVID. So that's how they kept those numbers up. So anything that affected the lungs, which tuberculosis basically is a big lung problem, but like I said, it can be managed and it can be cured over time, that they stopped testing. It says, doctors emphasize the importance of testing high-risk individuals for latent TB to prevent progression to active contagious disease, right? So my thoughts is a lot of the stuff that was being spread was TB during COVID, a lot of it. So they say that the cases are rebounding massively. Imagine that, right? So now here in the United States, they're not as prevalent as they are around the world. We have very low incidences of them. But do we really? If we really trace it back to COVID, could we see that a lot of people unfortunately died from TB? So the disease itself has changed little in its fundamentals. Tuberculosis spreads when someone with active pulmonary or laryngeal TB coughs, speaks, or sneezes, increasing microscopic droplets. Most infections settle in the lungs, though the bacteria can attack the kidney, spine, brain, or other sites. Diagnosis typically begins with a skin test or blood assay for infection. So I remember in the military, we'd always get a little finger prick, and they would test it for tuberculosis. And then we have to come back the next day, and if it was okay, then we're good. So I never had it. And so anyway, treatment takes a strict regime of antibiotics. Of course, we know antibiotics, if you don't stay on the antibiotics to take it down. And of course, I recommend, Allicin V, which is over 1 million times more effective than ivermectin. So you can see that if you go in my description box, I have that. I have Scott that's been on my show that's talked about it quite a bit. He's incredible with, this garlic that you basically use those little inhaler thingies, right? So you inhale it and it goes in your lung, you hold it, and then you press it up into your nose, you hold it, and then you let it out. It clears everything, guys. Pretty amazing. So untreated active TB carries roughly a 50% fatality rate. So if you have it and you don't start to, do the antibiotic, stuff that they recommend, then, and you have to take it for daily for 4 to 6 months or longer in resistant cases. And once you complete the full course, then you're no longer sick from it, right? So, but it is very active again. It's rising across the United States. as doctors warn of pandemic rebound. So they attribute the increase largely to a rebound effect. Latent TB infections went undetected or untreated amid disrupted surveillance and screening during the pandemic years, right? So we know that they are, very active in killing us, unfortunately, and profiting from it. All right. Or making us sick and profiting from it. All right. So stock market is down pretty good today. All right. It tried to go up, but then it was like, oil prices are going up. You know what I say? Oil goes up, stock market goes down, right? So I don't see any relief in that because I think this is part of Trump's deal because America, we got plenty of oil, guys. Now the price is going to go up, and that sucks, but we're at war with the deep state. You guys are living in California. If you look, you can't really see the lake through that window too well because it's kind of hazy because we got a cold front coming in. We're going to get snow again for 3 days, 1 to 3 feet of snow. We need it, right? Because somebody's been manipulating the weather like crazy, right? So right across over there is California, right? So I'm in Nevada, and I'm pretty happy about that. I like to go to places where there's no tax, right? So the places where I'll live in the future will be Nevada. Of course, Florida, I was there for a little while. I would live in Texas. No tax in Texas. Alaska, I don't see myself going to Alaska, but if I had to, I would because there's no tax, right? Tennessee, no tax. Now, I know a lot of states are like reducing to the point over time where they're going to have no tax. I know Montana is moving that direction. I don't know about Idaho because they had a lot of Californians go to Idaho, so they'll probably stay. Californians like tax, right? So they come to some place and they're like, no, because I remember I was talking to one guy at Costco. I was pumping gas and we were chatting, and he's like, I don't know how we got to the conversation, but he's like, get these New Yorkers come down here and they tell me that we need to be taxed. I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you tell them to get the hell out? So what the F? All right. So if you want to be taxed, then stay in a tax state. All right. If you like pandemic, stay in a state like California and New York that really pushed the pandemic. All right. So it's real simple. All right. Now California is probably going to run out of gas or have gas shortages within the next couple of weeks or so. And the reason why is because they're Nazis. They're Marxist communists in California. They're Nazis. And they have basically hell-bent on destroying California. And so they started shutting down all the refineries because they're not green. You're not green. Well, remember that bullet train that you guys were building for like 2 decades or however long it was, and you spent like $100 million on it or whatever, 100 billion. I don't think it's that much, but it's way up there. And there's no train running on it anywhere, right? So this is the way of California, right? To destroy and to make the lives of Californians as difficult and as painful as possible, so that we all leave. Because I love, when I was in SEAL teams, I loved California. Spent a lot of time there. Then I came back to the other side of the lake here in California, and they taxed the shit out of me, and they kept all of us locked down. And I was like, screw this, I'm out of here. I'm going to Florida. Going to a free state, right? So went to Florida. It's much better. Then it was like, I really like Lake Tahoe, but I'm not going back to California. So we looked at the Incline Village side, and we're like, oh, that's very nice. The problem is Larry Ellison has home here, and some other very baddies, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it is quite a beautiful place. I love this place. makes me mellow. And I need to be mellow so I can be intuitive. So, and you guys want me to be intuitive because I can pick up stuff. So good. All right. Pentagon eyes weeks of ground operations in Iran as IRGC threatens tit-for-tat strikes on universities. Right. You hit our universities. We just happen to have a lot of IRGC there and missile systems and, all that kind of stuff. But hey, you hit our university, so we're going to hit your universities, Americans, where you guys, go to university in the Middle East and Europe, whatever. So we're going to hit those. Okay, whatever. Right. See how that works out for you. It's not going to last much longer. Now, you guys know that I really, really, really love the Democrats. So I want you guys to see this old clip of Bob Hope. And he talks about Democrats.
You live here? Yes. Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats? You live here? Yes. Maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies.
Yeah, definitely like Democrats. All right. So, yeah, even Bob Hope all the way back then knew about Democrats. All right. So they're zombies. They just follow orders. All right. Gavin Newsom, what do we do? You let us tax you to death, and then you die. You die from it. And okay. And then they're living in the streets. Gavin Newsom, what about all the money that's being given for those of us who live in the streets? We give a little bit of it, but we're going to keep the rest. Right? You guys you're going to die anyway. So just go off and die. So we don't care. So that's the zombies, Democrat zombies. So I don't think they're going to be around much longer, especially when we get free and fair elections, where it's like you come in with paper ballot and you vote and you find out the same day Democrats can't survive. They have to cheat. Everywhere Democrats win, they've cheated, period. All right, because they're Nazis. Nazis cheat. All right. Nazis can't win going forward. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. And we'll see you guys next time.